Congratulations, you've just been born as a blobfish. Don't panic, it's not your fault. It's evolution's. You appear somewhere around 4,000 feet below the ocean surface, where sunlight is a rumor and the water pressure could crush a car. Down here, you're basically a little translucent bean of disappointment, a gelatinous embryo floating through eternal darkness. No one's clapping, no proud parents, just crushing pressure, zero visibility, and the faint taste of despair or plankton hard to tell. Your mom probably laid you as one of hundreds of eggs on a random patch of seabed, then left immediately because motherly instinct didn't make it this deep. If you survive, it's not because you were loved. It's because you weren't noticed. And statistically, you won't survive. Most blobfish larvae get eaten before they even finish hatching. You though? You beat the odds. Congrats, you've unlocked hard mode. Existence Edition. Your first days are about as exciting as watching wet paint. In the dark, underwater, forever. You float. You absorb microscopic nutrients. You try not to die. That's it. You don't have muscles worth mentioning. You don't have bones that count. You don't even have a proper skeleton. You're more like a ghost of a fish that someone gave up rendering halfway through. But hey, there's one advantage. No predators really bother hunting you, because you're not even appetizing. Imagine being so useless you're not worth the calories. Somewhere, a deep-sea crab crawls by, sees you and goes, nah. So you just exist, not thrive, not evolve. Just float through the abyss, hoping the next bit of edible garbage lands close enough for you to absorb through your gelatin dignity. You're not fast. You're not fierce. You're not pretty. You're a depression-shaped bean that makes sea cucumbers look confident. But you're alive. Barely. Which, for a blobfish, counts as a victory. Let's talk about your design. You know those memes where people say, God was drunk when he made this? Yeah. That was about you. At normal sea level pressure, your body collapses into what looks like a melted Play-Doh face left on a radiator. But down here, your floppy, boneless design actually works. See, instead of a swim bladder like normal fish, you have gelatinous flesh that's slightly less dense than water, so you can float without effort. Sounds cool, right? Until you realize you're basically a biological stress ball with eyes. Your body is a soft sack of goo. Your skin, slimy jelly. Your head, a blob. Your muscles, optional. Evolution looked at you and said, what if we replace structure with vibes? And the worst part, this isn't a deformity. It's how you're supposed to look. Up close, you're technically adapted perfectly for your environment, neutral buoyancy, no wasted energy, all that good science stuff. But from a design perspective, you're a fish drawn from memory by someone who's never seen a fish. Imagine a toddler sculpting a fish out of pudding, then dropping it. That's you. If aliens ever study Earth's creatures and come across your species, they'll assume you were an April Fool's experiment. Behold, the species that proves evolution is a game of trial and error. Mostly error. And let's not forget your face. Your permanent frown isn't a mood. It's physics. Your jelly skin droops under gravity whenever you're pulled out of deep water. You don't look sad. You are sad physically. So yeah, congratulations. You're nature's mistake that still functions. A living punchline that swims at 3,900 feet of ocean pressure just to maintain basic structure. You grow slowly, which makes sense, you're basically a floating pudding cup. Over the next few years, you double in size, which sounds impressive until you realize you're still smaller than a house cat. You don't have a growth spurt. You have a growth ooze. You don't hunt. You wait. You drift like a soggy couch cushion, hoping dead things fall near your mouth. If the ocean had an unemployment line, you'd be standing in it. Your diet consists of whatever sinks, crustacean bits, organic goo, the occasional deep-sea snowflake of decomposing matter. You're a living Roomba that never empties its bin. Meanwhile, other fish your age are evolving personalities and skills. You just gain more mass. Your life is basically a slow-loading gif of sadness. You start to notice things about your body, like how you don't have real fins, more like flaps of regret, or how your eyes always look like you've seen too much. Because you have. It's the deep sea. There's no therapy down here. You might think, at least I'm safe. Wrong. Every now and then, some trawling net swoops by, massive, unseen, mechanical. A net designed by humans who don't even know you exist. It scoops up whatever's unlucky enough to be in the way. One wrong float, and you'll be yanked upward thousands of feet. Pressure dropping. Body expanding. Guts rearranging. Congratulations. You've just experienced your first existential roller coaster. Your cells, built for crushing depths, start to decompress. Slowly. Painfully. If you survive that, spoiler, you'd surface as a melted parody of yourself. That's the famous ugly blobfish face the internet loves. The one that won world's ugliest animal. Ironically, in your natural habitat you're not ugly. You look normal, bland even, but humans only see you after you've been destroyed by physics. That's like judging a person's looks after sending them through a wood chipper. So yeah, your glow up is a glow down. You grow into the world's most misunderstood meme. Here's the cruel twist. You're fine where you are. Perfectly evolved for your environment. But step outside it even accidentally and you're done. You can't survive without pressure. The same crushing force that would turn humans into soup is what holds you together. It's like your whole existence depends on being crushed at all times. Without it, your body loses structure. You collapse into a sad pile of goo. Your face droops, your insides swell, and your vibe goes from mysterious deep-sea creature to someone microwaved a stress ball. Imagine needing anxiety itself to stay alive. That's your biology. You don't even have a swim bladder because it would explode at these depths. So evolution went, screw it, just make them squishy. And somehow that worked. For millions of years, you've been just fine, surviving in an ecosystem humans still barely understand. Until, of course, we showed up. Deep-sea trawlers drag nets across the ocean floor for fish we actually eat. Your collateral damage. The cosmic joke in someone else's dinner plan. You don't swim fast enough to escape. You don't look edible enough to matter. You just exist wrong in the wrong place at the wrong time. And when humans haul you up and take pictures, you become internet famous for being hideous. The world mocks your corpse without context. Congratulations, you're the world's first posthumous meme. People caption your face with, "Me on Monday mornings," or, "When life hits hard," not realizing you literally died for that joke. And honestly, it fits, because your whole species is basically a metaphor for existence. Misunderstood, fragile, and one pressure change away from disaster. You've made it to adulthood, which means you're now a slightly larger puddle with a resume that just says, floats. You don't really do anything. You drift near the seafloor, occasionally eating detritus and avoiding rocks. You don't even have predators, not because you're strong, but because you're just not worth the effort. You're too soft to chew, too bland to taste, and too slow to chase. You're the deep-sea version of unsalted oatmeal. But you do have one goal: reproduce. Pass on your glorious gelatin genes to the next generation of disappointment. You find a mate, probably because you drifted into each other and thought, close enough. You lay eggs, hundreds, maybe thousands, because quantity over quality is your only strategy. Sometimes, females actually guard the eggs for a while, which sounds touching, until you realize that guarding means sitting there and hoping nothing eats them. No hero weeks. No parenting books. Just please don't die before hatching. Meanwhile, at the surface, humans still think you're a punchline. Scientists try to explain that you're actually elegant in your environment, neutrally buoyant, energy efficient, and ancient. But the internet has decided, you're the world's ugliest animal. That's your legacy. Not millions of years of survival. Not perfect adaptation. Just the meme. Imagine being biologically flawless and the butt of every joke. You didn't ask for this. You were chilling in your high-pressure cave, minding your own business, when humanity decided to drag you out, ruin your body, and turn you into clickbait. And now you're a mascot for depression. The blobfish emoji. The meme of me when I wake up. You're the internet's spirit animal for burnout. In a way, it's poetic. You lived your life at crushing depths, and now you're helping humans cope with their own. Still sucks, though. So here you are. A legend. A joke, a symbol of nature's weird sense of humor. Most blobfish will never see the surface. They'll live and die in the quiet dark, unbothered. But the few that do, they'll be immortalized as ugly memes. You existed millions of years before humans. You'll probably outlive us too, because while we destroy ecosystems and argue online, you'll still be down there floating, soft, judging us silently with that sagging face. Maybe, just maybe, that's the real joke. Humans think you're ugly because they see you out of your element. But you could say the same about them. If someone yanked a human 4,000 feet underwater, we'd look way worse than you. So yeah, it sucks to be born a blobfish. But at least you're not human. Because the only creature uglier than you is the one who made you famous for it. So next time someone calls you a blobfish, take it as a compliment. It means you're surviving in an environment that would crush anyone else. Congrats, evolution's little joke, you're still here. Now go float in peace, you gelatinous legend.